Hey guys, welcome back to the 18th episode of Let's Play Space Engineers as a German engineer. Also, Happy New Year. Oh, I made a mistake. I let the game running last night. The good news is the mine is working. The bad news is the mine was running all night long and it filled up all our inventory. So what I just did off camera was I built an additional cargo container, just put it right next to the other one and cleaned up the inventory. So everything's nice and tidy again. Oh, and because I let the game running, my engineer died, so I need to build new tools. Let me quickly do this and then get back to you guys. Okay, we have proper tools again. Let's see what we've planned for this episode. I promised you guys for the new year we would look into figuring out what to do with the iSpace. I thought about this a little bit and I came to a conclusion. I do not want to move the entire base over to the iSpace. I do want to build the iSpace focused on hydrogen extraction. I did a little bit of reading, a little bit of research, and hydrogen doesn't have any weight in Space Engineers. You can actually transport hydrogen in the form of hydrogen, not as ice, but in the form of hydrogen very effectively. We could easily build a ship that can just move ridiculous amounts of hydrogen from the iSpace over here to our main base very easily. I do want to build the iSpace focused on hydrogen extraction, but I also want to be able to for it to be like self-sustaining. So I will build a regular mining rig and I will build assemblers and refineries there as well, so that when I want to build new facilities at the iSpace, that I don't have to bring all the materials with me. But this here will remain our main base and we will focus on expanding, for example, building the rocket silo at this base. At least that's the plan for now. To actually build the iSpace, we need to move material to the iSpace so that we can bootstrap a base. To move the material, we will need to build a hauler, a material hauler. We have a hauler, obviously, but there's a couple of drawbacks with that. First of all, it's built entirely based on small conveyors. That means it can only effectively shuttle around ores. I think what we're going to move are actually ingots. Secondly, I think I want to build a flying craft instead of a rover. To get to the iSpace, we need to fly over this mountain ridge over here. It'll be a much tougher task with the rover. And so I did a little bit of kind of math to figure out how much material do we need to bootstrap the base and how large of a hauler will we need to actually, maybe we'll call it transporter, and how much lift capacity do we need. Let's look at that quickly so you get an idea what I'm talking about. So I found this website that allows you to kind of like punch in some blocks and their numbers, and then it will give you how many components are required to build it and how many ingots and how much ore that is. And I'm really interested in the ingots, I think, because ingots just make the math significantly easier because each ingot is exactly 1 kilogram. And so I know exactly what amounts of weights I'm dealing with by just looking at these ingots here. I punch in a bunch of stuff, roughly what I would need to bootstrap a fully functioning base, including a mining rig, so there's pistons, and we have mining drills, a bunch of conveyors, a bunch of light armor blocks, actually a medical room, a refinery, an assembler, and an O2 H2 generator. Some cargo containers, pretty straightforward stuff. Overall, we need roughly 140,000 iron ingots, and then all the rest are basically just rounding errors. We can just go ahead and round this to, we need 140,000 ingots. Iron has a density of each kilogram being 0.127 liters. So meaning if we have 100,000 ingots, that will be roughly 13,000 liters of iron ingots. Yeah, so the large small grid cargo container can store 15,000 liters. Oh, and I checked the other ingots as well. They do take different volumes, but because the numbers are so small, they're just not relevant. So one cargo container can easily store 100,000 iron ingots. So if we want to be able to move this amount of material over to the new base, we need 2 large small grid cargo containers that will be sufficient to move all of this stuff, right? Like one gives us more storage than 100,000 iron ingots, and so 2 will give us more storage than we need for 200,000 iron ingots, which is more than we actually need to transport. So this means we need a ship that has roughly a carrying capacity of 200,000 kilograms. So there's this other website here which I use, which is the Space Engineers Thrust Calculator. If we have a ship which needs to carry or has a weight of 220,000, so I just calculate roughly 20,000 for the ship itself, 200,000 for cargo, then we need 4 large atmospheric thrusters. As soon as you up this just a little bit, it goes up to 5 atmospheric thrusters. So I might just put on 6 of them in the end. To support 6 large atmospheric thrusters, how many batteries will we need, right? Large atmospheric small grid thrusters, they have a maximum power consumption of 2.4 megawatts. Small grid batteries have a maximum power output of 4 megawatts. So one battery can easily power one large thruster. And in fact, 2 batteries can power 3. So if we want to have 6, we want to have a minimum of 4 batteries. But also each battery only stores 1 megawatt hour. So if we have 6 large thrusters, so there's roughly 15 megawatts of power that they can draw. If we don't have like at least 6 to 8 batteries, that'll run out really, really quickly, especially because we will have a bunch more regular sized atmospheric thrusters as well, like for maneuvering and whatnot. So I think probably 6 to 8 batteries is appropriate, probably 8. And I just realized something. I don't have any windmills in here. They don't seem to exist in here. That's fine though. So first of all, the ship's gonna be a small grid. Large cargo containers, 6 atmospheric thrusters, and then 8 batteries. Obviously, we'll need connectors, and we'll want to use large conveyors. Oh, one thing that is important, the inventory must be accessible when landed. Let's get started on this. Okay, I think I have it functional. There's certainly a couple things that I still can improve, but I think all the components necessary to fly this thing are on there. I have my 6 large thrusters, my 2 cargo containers, I have a connector, some landing gear, I have a cockpit, I have 8 batteries, and I have 2 gyros right back here, as well as 4 backwards, I guess these are forwards facing, 4 forwards facing thrusters, 4 backwards facing thrusters, and then 6 sideways facing, 3 in each side. I'm not sure if these are going to be enough maneuvering thrusters. We'll try it out. We'll give it a maiden flight. Is that what you would call it? A maiden voyage? Then we can kind of fine-tune the thrusters if we need to add any more thrusters anywhere, as well as make it look a little bit nicer. I've added a couple of decorative blocks up here, just to kind of cover up the conveyors a little bit. I think I can work off this and kind of give the whole ship like more of a shell. Right now, like all the functional components are pretty much exposed, and I think we can do better than that. But yeah, let's give it a try and see if it works. Well, it didn't crash to the floor. Yep, free floating. Let's see. Okay, it's moving. Let's see if it... Whoa, yeah. It is fast on the vertical. Woo! So here's the thing, right? Like right now, it's not super snappy on the other axes. I think the main problem will be once this is fully loaded, it will probably be even worse. I may want to add a couple more thrusters. When it's empty, I may have to put a limit on the thrusters, how much thrust the thrusters can generate. This goes from like 100 meters per second to 0 in no time. Set it down on the ground. So we probably want to add a couple more thrusters. I can easily add another row of thrusters here, like these 6. Might be a little bit more challenging to get more thrusters placed nicely here. Could I just place them on top? I guess I could. Oops, that's the wrong direction. Definitely put... Fully loaded, as long as we are carefully navigating the... Okay, we should get it docked, start charging the batteries. I don't think we can fit it here, so instead we're gonna park it up here and we'll need to move the Christmas tree for that. We may need some landing gears on the Christmas tree here. Let's park it on the roof for now. Considering that it's already January, we may have to put it in storage soon. I guess this one doesn't wilt. Okay. It's parked. Let's get our ship up there. This acceleration. Dock this more easily. Okay, we're locked. And let's get some, it's filling up with stone. Okay. Are both large cargo containers on the base full? Let me, I guess, build a third one. We may want to stop the mine as well. I think pushing the top button will just stop it here. Yeah. Let me dig out... Okay. That's the third one. I put it underneath the other one here. Let's quickly tidy up the inventory. So one thing I learned is actually, instead of dragging stuff around on this right-hand side here, you can just select the connected ship here. And for example, well, let's show all types. And on this side, we're going to go and find our large cargo container, the new one, like this one. And then we select it. And now we can just go ahead and double-click whatever we want to move into here. And that makes it super easy and straightforward. Okay, that problem is solved. Let's load up some cargo here. So now we can select show only inventories of current ship. Yeah, and we're nice and empty. And now we're just going to look for some iron here. And we should be able to carry 200,000. That was kind of like the... sorry. We should be able to carry 100,000 per large cargo container, or more than 100,000 indeed, but 100,000 is kind of low. Yeah, so like 12,000 liters, that's perfect. And then this one as well. Yeah. And we should still be able to disconnect, put the batteries in auto, on the dock, and lift. Yeah, so the lift is significantly slower but it is working. The maneuverability is very, very... Like, see how slowly this accelerates? The gyros are probably still fine. Doesn't really need to be much quicker than this. But yeah, so this will also take forever to decelerate again. But as long as we're careful and don't do anything stupid, I think we should be fine. Okay. Looks good. Dock. Perfect. While this is charging up, I will be working a little bit on making this look a little bit nicer. So let me clean this up a little bit and see what I can do here. Okay, so I think I made it look a little bit nicer. Let me know what you think. I've added a couple decorative blocks and used different shapes and patterns, some colors, textures. So yeah. Don't look at it from the bottom though, because I didn't really do anything on the bottom. I think what we want to do next is we want to load it up. And we have obviously 200,000 iron in here, but that's not really what we need to bring. What we really need to bring is 150,000 iron. 50,000. And then we need to bring a bunch of other stuff, which is 300 cobalt. And I'm going to try where I can to just grab a little extra. Let's bring 600. And then 3,000 nickel ingot. Let's bring 6,000. Then 120 silicon vapor. Let's bring 1,000. And then 300 silver. Then let's do 600. I think these are all the raw materials that we need. The only thing is, all this material will not help us to build a assembler and some power. So we should grab these materials and bring them with us. Assembler. And then withdraw components for build planner. Why not? Oh. Let's see. There we go. That's much better. In addition to that, we will need some power. And a little bit of steel plate, just a little bit of extra steel plate for some light armor blocks. Okay. I think I have everything. Some steel plate. So I think with all of that stuff loaded, we should be good to go on a trip. I guess there's one thing that I still... Let me add one thing to the ship quickly. I do want to add an ore detector. Okay, let's fly over to the lake. Okay, we're at the lake. I do want to... There are these ore discolorings here, and I do want to check what this is. Gold, I see. Silver. There might also be magnesium, because that's at least my previous experience. But I think I do... This is useful. And I do want to build a mine right in this area here. I think we're going to set up shop right outside of this patch. So let's spin around here. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Okay. Let's not lose balance. How about that? Why does it seem much easier to tilt to the right than to the left? Let's land right here. I think we have touchdown. Okay. Is this some kind of a storm? I don't know. What I do know is that I am using my oxygen. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's grab the stuff that we need and then get going. Okay, I may have made a mistake. I didn't bring any oxygen. And I also didn't fill up my hydrogen bottle. Now we will need to build some power. Next I need to build a medical room, I think. Looks like the really bad sandstorm is over. We're still losing oxygen, but that's okay. Oh, oxygen is high again. Oh, we survived. Okay. We're out of the tough spot here. O2 generator, so we can get some hydrogen. Although we also do need to get that mine belt, but we do need hydrogen for that. So I'm kind of regretting how I put this down. It makes it actually really hard to connect it to other stuff. So I want to flip this over. But let's get the O2 generator down first. Let's get some ice quickly. Yes, we're gonna hand drill some ice. Get it in here. Get that filled up. Nice. Let's build a storage container. So let's grab the stuff here and dump it off. Let's empty out stuff out of the ship first. Actually, let's just build a connector, and that makes that easier. Let's start getting the blocks for the mine in place. We need this for power. Let's move the inventory over. We can't move it all. So I think we're gonna build a large cargo container. I'm gonna replace this block here with a reinforced conveyor. Is that what you call them? Reinforced conveyor tube, yeah. And then I think we should be able to put a large cargo container on this side. Is that one windmill enough power? It's not. Let's grind it down, move it up, think we didn't put it high enough the first time. So, yeah, I think we'll just take it out right here. And I think I'm gonna put the refinery right here at the end. Let's also build another small cargo container. I feel like I need more assemblers, but we'll need to get the mine done first before we start sticking more stuff in here. Okay, I have done the work, I think, and I think we're ready to turn this on. It should immediately go into the refinery should process it, and yeah, we should be good. I've put the refinery on this side and the assembler on this side of my storage, so we shouldn't have the same problem that we had in the old base. I've already configured all the pistons. I've configured configured the rotor as well. So let's turn them on. I may want to turn on shared inertia tensors. That is better. Let's check out the refinery. There we go. And the drill heads. Looks good. Perfect. Next time we will continue expanding the space. Specifically, we'll get the hydrogen processing up and running. I appreciate your time and you watching my video. If you would like to see more like this, please make sure to subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And please be sure to share this video with your friends that might be interested in watching it too. That is the best way to help the channel grow. So thanks a lot for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.